What would you dare to do if you never doubted yourself? Would you chase that dream you keep putting off? Would you speak up when your voice usually goes silent? Or would you finally step into the life you've always imagined but never believed you deserved? Belief is the invisible force that shapes every decision you make. It is not something you can touch, but it touches everything in your life. When you believe in yourself, doors open, opportunities appear, and even obstacles start to look like challenges instead of walls. But when you doubt yourself, even the smallest step feels impossible. Psychology proves that your brain listens to the story you tell it. If you repeat to yourself that you're not enough, your mind starts finding evidence to prove it. But if you say, I can, your brain rewires itself to look for ways to make it true. Think about this: every invention, every breakthrough, every success story started with someone who believed before there was proof. Self-belief is the seed, and success is the fruit. Without planting belief in your mind, you'll never see the life you want grow. And here's the truth most people don't realize: belief isn't a gift you're born with. It's a muscle. Like any muscle, it grows when you use it, when you test it, when you push it beyond comfort. Why is this so important? Because the way you see yourself determines how far you'll go. People don't fail because they are weak. They fail because they give in to the voice that whispers, you can't. That voice is powerful, but it isn't permanent. You can rewrite the script in your head. The science is simple: neurons that fire together, wire together. This means every thought you repeat, every word you speak to yourself builds pathways in your brain. Doubt is a habit, but belief can become a habit too. Now ask yourself, what story have you been repeating? Have you been telling yourself you're not smart enough, strong enough, or worthy enough? Or have you been feeding your mind with thoughts of strength, ability, and possibility? The story matters because your future follows the direction of your belief. Here's the good news: no matter how much doubt you've carried, you can change it. You can start building self-belief today. Once you build it, it becomes the shield that protects you from fear and the fuel that pushes you forward. With unshakable belief, failure won't break you. It will guide you. With unshakable belief, rejection won't silence you. With unshakable belief, the impossible won't scare you. It will excite you. So stay with me until the end of this video, because I promise you this: by the time we're finished, you'll not only understand the psychology of self-belief, but you'll also have powerful techniques to strengthen it every single day. That is the reward for those who don't click away. The chance to finally stop doubting and start believing, not in luck, not in chance, but in yourself. If belief is the seed of success, then why do so many people struggle to plant it? Why do so many dreams fade before they even begin? The truth is, most people don't lack a belief, they lack belief. From childhood, we are taught to doubt. A harsh word from a parent, a teacher's criticism, or a friend's laughter when we fail, all of these moment deep marks into the mind. Over time, those voices turn into a critic that whispers, you're not good enough. And listen, the more the louder it grows. Psychology explains this as negative self-talk. Every time you repeat a thought like, I can't do this, your brain records it. It becomes a mental groove, a habit of doubt. Soon, you don't even question it. You accept it as truth. That's why even the most talented people hold back, paralyzed not by failure itself, but by the fear of failure. Comparison makes it worse. You look at others and convince yourself they are smarter, stronger, or luckier. But what you don't see is their own battle with doubt. Comparison is a thief. It steals your focus from your progress and blinds you to your own potential. Here's the reality: our failure is not what destroys belief. Fear does. And fear feeds on silence. When you don't challenge the thoughts in your head, they control you. But when you confront them, when you speak back with courage, they begin to lose their power. Self-belief doesn't vanish because you're weak. It fades when you forget who you are and what you've already survived. The very fact that you're here listening proves you've already overcome battles many others could not. Your story is proof of strength, even if you don't feel it right now. If doubt is learned, then belief can also be learned. The voice in your head is not a prophecy, it is a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken, reshaped, and rebuilt. Your inner voice is the most powerful influence in your life. You hear it more than you hear anyone else. When it speaks against you, it becomes a prison. But when it speaks for you, it becomes a weapon. The difference between the two is not chance, it is choice. Psychology shows us that the brain does not know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. That's why athletes visualize winning before they compete. They are training their brains to expect success. You can do the same. When you speak words of strength, when you imagine yourself overcoming, you are literally wiring your brain to believe it. This is where affirmations and reframing come in. Every time a thought says, I can't, replace it with, I am learning, I am growing, I can. It may feel strange at first, but repetition creates new neural pathways. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, the voice of belief will drown out the voice of doubt, but you must be consistent. Just as negative words lead you over years, positive ones must be repeated until they become your new truth. Speak to yourself with the same courage you would use to lift someone you love, because the person who needs your encouragement the most is you. Every great transformation begins not with the world believing in you, but with you believing in yourself. And the first step is simple: change the voice, change the story, change the future. Once you begin to control your inner voice, the next battle is how you see failure. Most people treat failure as the end. They see it as proof they weren't good enough. But in reality, failure is not a wall, it is a doorway to grow wisdom and resilience. Think of it this way: no child learns to walk without falling. No one learns to speak without stumbling. Yet as adults, we expect perfection the first time we try. That is not how growth works. Psychology calls this the growth mindset. It is the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When you adopt this mindset, every mistake becomes a lesson, every second becomes a stepping stone. Failure hurts? Yes. It shakes confidence? Yes. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is a teacher. It shows you where to improve, where to adjust, where to push harder. The most successful people are not those who never failed. They are the ones who refused to let failure define them. They took the energy of rejection, disappointment, and loss and turned it into fuel. When you run from failure, you run from growth. But when you face it, when you embrace it, you unlock a strength you never knew you had. The truth is, failure does not break you, it reveals you. It strips away illusions and forces you to rise stronger than before. So don't fear failure, fear standing still, fear never trying. Because the person who never fails is the person who never dared. And self-belief is not built by avoiding failure, it is built by walking through it, learning from it, and rising because of it. Even the strongest mindset can be weakened if it is surrounded by the wrong environment. Your beliefs are not formed in isolation. They are shaped by the people you listen to, the conversations you engage in, and the energy you allow into your life. Psychology shows us that humans are wired for connection. Through mirror neurons, we unconsciously copy the emotions, habits, and confidence of those around us. That means if you spend time with people who constantly complain, doubt, or criticize, you will begin to reflect the same energy. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with those who encourage, uplift, and push forward, their confidence becomes contagious. Your environment is like soil. If you plant a strong seed in dry, toxic struggles to grow, but place it in rich, healthy soil and it flourishes. The same is true with self-belief. It cannot thrive where it is starved by negativity, but it grows rapidly in the presence of positivity and support. This does not mean cutting everyone out of your life. It means choosing carefully who you give the most access to your mind and heart. Protect your energy as if your future depends on it, because it does. Reduce the noise of voices that weaken you and amplify the voices that remind you of your strength. And remember, your environment isn't just people. It's also what you read, what you tell yourself daily. Feed your mind with growth and your belief will expand. Feed it with doubt and it will shrink. If you want unshakable self-belief, you must build an environment that reflects the future you desire, not the past you've outgrown. Once your environment begins to support your growth, the next step is action. Because belief does not grow in theory, it grows in practice. Confidence is not built by waiting until you feel ready. It is built by moving forward, even when doubt is still whispering. Psychology proves that the brain rewards progress. Every time you complete a small task, your mind releases dopamine, the chemical of achievement. It doesn't matter how small the step is. Each victory tells your brain, I can. Over time, these small wins stack on top of each other, and they create an unshakable foundation of belief. The mistake many people make is waiting for massive change all at once, but strength is built in layers. Just as muscles grow with repeated exercise, confidence grows with repeated action. You don't need to conquer the mountain today. Start by taking the first step, then the next, then another. Soon, You'll look back and realize how far you've climbed. Celebrate progress. Don't dismiss it because it feels small. Winning a small battle against procrastination. Speaking up once in a meeting. Saying no when fear tells you to stay silent. These are victories. Each one is proof that you are stronger than your doubts. And here's the truth. Belief is not about never feeling fear. It is about proving to yourself again and again that fear will not stop you. The more you act, the more evidence you give your mind that you are capable. And evidence builds confidence. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Begin now. One action, one step, one win at a time. That is how you build confidence that no storm can shake. When confidence begins to grow through small wins, it doesn't just stay inside you. It begins to show in how you communicate. The way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the energy in your voice, all of it reflects the level of belief you hold within. People don't just hear your words, they feel your conviction. Psychology tells us that communication is more than language. It's tone, body language, and presence. When self-belief is strong, it flows into every signal you give off. Your words gain weight, your presence commands attention, and people naturally lean in to listen. This is the secret of great leaders. They are not followed because they are perfect, but because they radiate certainty. They believe in their vision so strongly that others begin to believe too. Confidence is magnetic. It pulls people closer. Doubt, on the other hand, pushes people away. Think about this: when someone speaks with hesitation, you question the message, but when someone speaks with unshakable belief, even before you fully understand their words, you feel their power. That is the psychology of influence. We mirror the emotions of others. Your confidence becomes their confidence. And leadership is not just about leading a company or a crowd. It's about leading your own life. It's about communicating with yourself and with the world in a way that reinforces your strength. When you speak with belief, you set the standard not only for how others see you, but for how you see yourself. So if you want to lead, start by building belief. Let it shape your voice, your posture, your presence. Because when your communication reflects certainty, you don't just talk, you inspire. And that is the mark of true leadership. Self-belief is not a gift that falls from the sky. It is built, it is shaped by the thoughts you choose, the actions you take, and the battles you refuse to surrender to. It is not about being fearless. It is about refusing to let fear make the final decision. You've seen how belief begins in the mind, how doubt can be rewired, how failure can become fuel, how environment shapes strength, how small wins build momentum, and how confidence transforms into leadership. Every step has been leading you here to a choice. Will you keep letting doubt write your story, or will you take pen back and write it yourself? The truth is, nobody else can give you unshakable belief. People can encourage you, guide you, even inspire you, but only you can decide to believe. Only you can wake up each day and say, I am capable, I am strong. That decision, repeated daily, is what transforms ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Psychology shows that the mind adapts to whatever you consistently feed it. Feed it doubt and you shrink. Feed it belief, you rise. Every thought is a choice. Every action is proof. Every win is evidence. And over time, those choices, that proof, that evidence, stack together until belief becomes unshakable. So rise. Speak to yourself with courage. Step forward even when it's uncomfortable. Surround yourself with strength, not weakness. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Communicate with conviction. Lead your life boldly. Because if you don't believe in yourself today, who will? And if not now, when? The power is already inside you, waiting to be claimed. Before you go, let me ask you something. What would your life look like if you started believing in yourself, not tomorrow, but today? How much further could you go if doubt no longer held you back? At Motivation Vault, we unlock the wisdom, the tools, and the inspiration that help you turn your struggles into strength and your fears into fuel. If this message spoke to your heart, imagine what's waiting in the next videos. So don't just watch. Join this movement of people who are choosing courage over fear and belief over doubt. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and keep building the strongest version of yourself. Because your journey doesn't end here, it starts here, and together we're turning self-belief into unstoppable power.